welcome everyone to the Post-Crisis Comics. This is the Brave and the Bold edition. I am the co-host of the show, Cookie, and then across the screen over there is the jerk of the moment. You can call him the jerk.
Love you too, honey. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. My name is Randy. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you can be notified next week when we upload our next episode. And, maybe even get to see some of the fun banter between us.
Exactly, yes. And just do what I do. Whenever I smash a like button, I just imagine I'm smashing Randy over there. It makes it so much more therapeutic. But yeah, it's like such a small thing to do, but it does help the channel grow, and we're trying to get this thing, big as possible. We want to get famous-ish. But you know what? Hey, if you're not a first-time viewer, though, we have to welcome you back. It's always great to have you here. We're always thankful that you guys want to choose to join us on this little journey of comic books.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and please be advised today we are going to be talking about spoilers in the issue that we're discussing today. This issue today is Absolute Batman #2. It is written by Scott Snyder, art by Nick Dragotta, and color is by Frank Martin. And this lovely cover here that we're looking at right now was done by Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin. Fun fact, Nick Dragotta inks himself, and I think he does a good job at it too. So this cover is pretty freaking awesome. The expression on Alfred's face is great. Batman is super imposing as he appears to be falling out of the sky at Pennyworth here. Pennyworth is holding a gun, although it looks slightly pointed off to the side. He's not pointing it quite at Batman. I like that little detail. Pennyworth is just surprised, not like trying to attack Batman.
Yeah, I really don't have much to add to it. I mean, it's definitely a good cover. They do a good job on the covers for the Absolute books. I'm kind of getting into them a little bit. I think it still takes me a little bit to get used to Batman being so bulky. I'm not used to like thick Batman, thick man basically.
Yep.
It's a little weird.
I over the months that we've been reading Absolute Batman, I've gotten used to it, and I've maybe even grown to like it a little bit. It seems like a very 90s style to me. Cable, big and bulky, and all those other Bishop and Forge. When Jim Lee drew the big guys.
I don't recall Forge being very big, but yeah, Bishop and Cable definitely, especially Cable. Cable was always huge. So
yeah. We go back to the zoo where Bruce's father has locked all the kids in the bat area at the zoo. Bats break some glass and come out of their display area, and that seems to really scare Bruce. The art on this page is excellent. Once again, they're doing that coloring so that you can tell that this is a scene from the past. No notes on this page. It looks great. I love the scree sound effect from the bats. It's awesome.
I love the coloring on the flashback stuff. I think we said that last episode too. It's just they do such a good job on that coloring, and it blends very well with his style.
Yeah,
I want to see more of that kind of coloring throughout the book. I understand why they can't do it, but it's almost heartbreaking at times.
And then next we get a double-page splash of a scary-looking bat and Bruce seemingly falling over or possibly already on the ground. He is surrounded by bats. The artist did a really good job here of making the bat in the foreground scary-looking. I mean, it's got all those sharp teeth. It's like screaming, and you can see kind of Bruce's head like headed back towards the ground. Just really, really good art here.
Yeah, it's kind of also, I like that they did a, I don't want to say it's an homage because I don't recall ever reading a lot of Batman origin stories. I tend to skip them because I know his origin, so I don't need to read it multiple times. But I do like the fact that they kind of throw in that the bats, how like he's afraid of them, kind of almost teasing like this is going to be something that he's going to use his fear to instill fear into other people. I've seen that in the movies. They've kind of done that kind of gimmick. So it's kind of cool that they're doing that in the comic.
Yes, it really is. Wrong page. There we go. So we're back in the future reading Pennyworth's diary. Pennyworth notes that the attacks by the party animals and responses from Batman are both escalating. Pennyworth says he is trying to help Batman solely to be able to get out of Gotham. I personally have doubts about that. Batman seems to be fighting the party animals in the aquarium, and the party animals are stabbing Batman, and he just doesn't care.
I mean, it's probably got to be hard to inflict pain on someone that's like, on so many steroids at this point.
I don't think Bruce is on that many steroids. He just works out a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, no human being gets that big on just lifting. It's always steroids.
So the fight in the aquarium continues. The action on this page looks great, and Pennyworth continues to praise Bruce. The Gotham loves its wildlife in light of the party animals being in the middle of this fight. That little banner falling to the ground made me smile. I like the little nods we get from the artist. That was a really cool idea. The action on this page is great.
Yeah, the art team does a really good job on the action in these books. Like the pacing and everything is very, very well done. Even like I think even if you're like critical of the style of like the way Batman looks or certain characters or something like that, because I know there are some people that don't like the kind of more cartoony-ish look that this can kind of have. It's the action alone, I think, kind of makes up for that. And I love cartoony artwork anyways, so like it's hands down. More and more I read, I get really into this team. I would love to see them do more stuff, like a regular DC book.
This is a regular DC book. It comes out on time.
a regular universe DC book.
Nah, they're in the right place. I do also want to call out the sound effect on this page, the giant sploosh. Channeling my inner Pam when I say that. So on the next page, we get to see Batman show off how smart he is by turning salt water from the aquarium into hydrochloric acid, which causes the party animals quite a bit of pain. Pennyworth thinks this is funny, and so do I. Pennyworth notes Batman's stash houses, or caves, all around Gotham. I guess working for every branch of the city did him some good, and Pennyworth remains impressed with him.
I like how they're establishing his intelligence, because it kind of feels like it could have been very easily just brute force with him, especially how dark they're trying to go with this, how violent he is. You could have gone full Punisher and just had him just breaking bones and beating the crap out of people and like no brains whatsoever. Not saying that Frank doesn't have brains, but you very rarely see it. So I like the fact that you're kind of getting a little bit more of him using his wits to use like the hydrochloric acid, the whole multiple caves thing. That's stuff that I've never, at least the multiple caves, they don't utilize that much in the regular Batman universe.
Right, you're right. We get the detective side of Batman and we get to see how smart he is there. But this seems like a different area where he's a different kind of smart.
Yeah, it's like he's using the city as a weapon.
Yeah,
which is something.
That's a really good way to put it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So on the next page, we see some of those caves make actually the shape of a bat. And I really, really like this. And Alfred's like, he's certainly committed to the bit.
That made me chuckle a lot, because it was kind of that thing of, it almost felt like a nod to the Adam West Batman, how like everything was bat related, like, bat soup, bat related spray. I mean, there was probably bat toilet paper somewhere. It was like everything was, and it felt like a nod, even if it wasn't meant to be one. That's just how I took it.
And then something about this really makes me smile because it's kind of silly and campy to help lighten up the dark mood of the book. And like at one point, Pennyworth, when he realizes that they're in the shape of a bat, he's all, "You've got to be kidding me."
It's something I think like every fan of Batman has done at some point in their career as a fan of Batman. Of like, there's been something that's come along that makes us roll our eyes and be like, I can't believe they did this.
Yeah, I know
and that was Pennyworth. Yeah, I thought that was great.
So we get a day in the life of Bruce via Pennyworth. He goes to work and occasionally goes to the prison where his father's killer is being held, and speaks to that prisoner. There's also interesting rumors of a Red Hood resistance group running around. Pennyworth's handler tells him to drop any support of Batman. Pennyworth reluctantly does, and we see the party animals have discovered one of Batman's caves in a high-rise.
That was interesting to me. Like, I did not expect the villains to get to a point where they might have almost outsmarted Batman. Like, okay, we're gonna sneak up on him. I mean, the moment they said they found one of the caves, like, not even flipping ahead, I was just like, all right, obviously Batman's going to be ready for you, but let's see what's going to happen here.
Yep, and then you're absolutely right. In response, Batman blows up the top of a high-rise. We see the shape of his cowl in the burning building as Pennyworth calls Batman one long advance forward, meaning he is Batman AF. I love this moment in the book. Comics are sometimes reluctant to use more modern language. Some people say that doing so kind of dates the comics and makes them less timeless. I don't care. I like seeing Batman be Batman as Wonderful art on this page. I remember seeing it previewed and thinking then how awesome it was.
It's definitely kind of cool. I've always had a problem with them complaining about modernizing comics, like not using modern terminology and stuff like that, because they did it during the 80s, they did it during the 70s. Like, they've always technically kind of done it. So, like, I feel like that's just the old guard being grumpy. You put a lot of grumpy old men in comics that just complain about everything.
Yeah.
I know personally one of them who complains about a lot of things.
I complain about the things worth complaining about. So we get talking heads discussing how much crime is going up, while Bullock, Barbara Gordon, and Mayor Gordon all discuss the situation in the hospital where Mayor Gordon is recovering from the party animals shooting him. Bullock really doesn't like Batman, but Barbara reminds Bullock and the mayor that Batman saved them all.
To me, the thing that stood out to this page was I liked the tattoo on Gordon, the military tattoo.
Yep, it shows he was in the Marine Corps.
I like that because I feel like sometimes they kind of forget that about him. Like, there was an issue in a Christmas special that they did once that kind of had a young Gordon meeting the JSA at a Christmas party before he was going to be deployed. One of my favorite issues to this day, I like stories. And it always stuck with me. Like, I like the fact that they kind of, he has a military background. So he's not just, a streetwise cop or whatever. Like, Gordon could be a little bit of a badass.
Yeah, no, not just a little bit. Gordon, over the years, I'm especially remembering in the post-earthquake era Cataclysm, Gordon was definitely a badass in Cataclysm. Yeah.
No, it's you got to see there's moments in his I hate going back to saying the word career, but it's the only word I can think of at the moment. But like, his career in the Batman universe as a cop, that he has some great moments, and I feel like a lot of times they don't utilize him as well as they should. Like, he's a great character that sometimes just gets left as a side character.
Yeah, I really like the way that Gordon is used in this comic. So when we go to the next page, we see that Martha Wayne has shown up at the hospital. Bullock gets a call that the Port Authority is being torn up. He and Barbara head out while the mayor and Martha discuss what a good kid Barbara is.
I don't know why I get so giddy whenever Bruce's mom shows up. I do. It's just so cool that it's like, oh, she's part of the comic. It's kind of awesome to see something new and interesting going on here. I love the relationship between her and Gordon already. It's just kind of interesting.
One thing I think that happens in a lot of alternate universe Batman comics is mom dies, or mom and Bruce die, and dad is the one who's left, Thomas. And in this comic, Snyder went the other way with it. You know, he left Martha alive. And I think it was a good call.
I definitely think so, because I mean, to me, I always felt Bruce was a mama's boy. I mean, like his dad, there was obviously a love and respect for his father, but his father always seemed like the more strict one. And like, I could see Bruce being a little bit of a mama's boy, which you get to see here. And I love that, because it's like, you know, like everyone, you know, wants to have that relationship with their mom.
Maybe not everyone. So when we move on to the next page, Martha and the mayor are discussing her dead husband, Thomas, and note that Thomas would have liked Batman. We find out Mayor Gordon, who was a police officer at the time, is the one who found Bruce. And when he found Bruce, Bruce was covered in bats, but Gordon didn't even realize that Bruce was there until Bruce started screaming because he was covered in the bats. I mean, that gives me chills. That sounds incredibly scary from, you know, Bruce's point of view.
I thought that was cool. I like the fact that it's tying into some of the history of Batman. Bruce is usually found by Gordon and everything, and they kind of did a little twist on it, which I thought was kind of cool. It did definitely make the bat seem a little bit more frightening, and like I want to see more of him growing up. Of how does he overcome his fear of the bats?
I like that idea. I'm curious about that too. Then we get a flashback to Bruce as a kid, post shooting at the zoo. Bruce's friends had come to visit, and he did not want to see them. This kid is clearly depressed, very depressed, as he's looking at the science fair medal that he won that got his class a trip to the zoo. He's clearly blaming himself for what happened to his dad.
Oh yeah, I mean that's to me that seems like a very easy psychological thing to fall into, a trap that I think anyone who's ever lost anybody goes through, probably moments like that where you blame yourself for something you could have done or you should have done, or you know, something like that. So exactly. So it's like that definitely feels like a thing that's going to haunt Bruce and then also drive Bruce, I think, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And then we see Bruce yell at his mom, and then he throws the medal out the window. And then in the bottom panel, we see that Bruce, we're back in the modern time, and Bruce is headed into someplace with barbed wire around it. I honestly thought it was a prison at first, but it does look pretty late in the day to be visiting a prison.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what this was either. This was kind of interesting. Especially because like with the prison thing, it's like, okay, are we finally, like, we haven't seen Arkham show up yet. It's like, okay, Arkham's like the main like thing. All the psychotic criminals end up in Arkham, and it's like, okay, are we going to get our final first look at Arkham Penitentiary? I was a little bit kind of like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. But then we see that Bruce has shown up to a poker game with his friends, Waylon, Harvey, Ozzy, and Eddie. Harvey is nervous about pictures being taken since he works for the DA's office now. Ozzy calls him a two-face for making a joke at Ozzy's expense. Could this be foreshadowing? Spoiler alert, it is.
I was a little bit thrown off by, like, everyone pretty much looked the way I expected them to. Eddie looks nerdy. We already seen Waylon. Harvey looks like he's got a stick up his butt.
Yep.
But yeah, Penguin, that was not what I was expecting. I feel like there was some inspiration from the Gotham TV show taken from him, because he almost reminded me of the actor that played him in that.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Cool. Yeah, I like that idea. So Eddie makes a joke about the pot, giving us a preview of how smart he is when he will presumably start doing riddles as the Riddler. We find there is an open seat at the table. Selina is not there. Waylon mentions she is in Cairo. Is that Cairo, Egypt? Or is this Cairo, as in Cairo, Illinois? They're spelled the same. I'd like to know. We actually don't find out because Waylon never says. The betting continues and Harvey calls and raises Bruce's bet.
It already feels like the main pissing contest between the friends is going to be between Harvey and Bruce. Like they're the two, like everyone's got their own little thing going on, but like those are the two. They're like, okay, who's the big dog of the group?
And in the original comics, Harvey and Bruce were usually pretty good friends, depending on which continuity you look at. But a lot of the times they were friends before Harvey became Two-Face.
Yeah, that's why it didn't shock me with that one, but it's like throwing in the others was really kind of cool, because you've never seen him be friends with any of his villains outside of mainly Harvey. And then I guess you can kind of throw in Selina a little bit if you go off the Gotham TV series. I think they were friends.
Batman and Selina hook up every other month in the comics, so it's not just on the TV show.
Well, I'm going back to like childhood. I'm going back to childhood.
Ah, gotcha. So Bruce tries to cover the rays with a party animal's helmet, and suddenly, with that on the table, his friends are interested in more than just gambling. I love the question mark necklace that Eddie is wearing. Eddie gets super interested in the skull and thinks he can use it to track the party animals. Maybe.
I'm not going to lie, I got super excited with this because I thought, okay, this is going to be kind of cool. Are these going to be his guys in the chair kind of thing? Because you always see that in comics. Spider-Man does it, where there's always that guy who's going to help you out with the technical stuff, maybe do some detective work for you, whatever.
Punisher's microchip, if you will.
Exactly. Punisher's microchip is a great example. Hopefully, we're going to get a long run of Batman's friends being his little helpers.
That would be cool. So then we see some allusion to the fact that Ozzy is involved in some nefarious business. Bruce asks Harvey if Harvey thinks that the party animals are politically motivated to hurt Mayor Gordon, but Harvey doesn't think so. Bruce has a Joker in his hand, and Harvey jokes that Jokers aren't welcome here. I like this little nod. Harvey mentions Hill, a person running against Gordon, has had some kind of golden chest to spend money against Gordon. Bruce asks for more info, but Harvey doesn't have it. Bruce then proceeds to break into the Hill for Mayor office as Batman. That's not an overreaction at all.
I mean, if you're Batman and you got the ability to do it, do it. I mean, that's the cool thing about being a superhero. Like I love when Spider-Man's like, hey, I'm going to be late to go pick up this pizza and go on a date with MJ. So it's like he's web slinging across town. You don't need to be doing that, but hey, you got the ability, go for it. So Batman, break into stuff. Do your bad thing.
Well, so I want to dive into this a little more because I feel like in the regular universe, the Batman, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know that he would have necessarily done this. And I think that this is kind of showing us a way to contrast this Batman with that Batman, because this Batman is willing to go a little further and maybe break a few more laws than the Earth 1 Batman. Because Earth 1 Batman, I don't think he would have broken into a political candidate's office with basically no evidence, just a hunch. Because the political candidate there's no connection to the bad guys. And I feel like whenever Batman's breaking in somewhere, he usually has a connection to the bad guys first, evidence of it. I don't know.
I could agree with. No, I agree with that, because I'm going back to the animated series, and when he kind of broke in to confront Amanda Waller, there was already a little bit of suspicion between Waller and Luthor, the connection. So it's like, yeah, I see what you're saying. There's usually a connection that he can kind of, even if it's a loose connection, there's at least something there that will kind of drive him to break the law and do this. He doesn't just do it because he feels like, there might be something, like I think there is. I have no proof, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
Other than a hunch.
I agree with that. Although I think it's hilarious that you bring that up of like this to differentiate between the two universes, ignoring the fact that we've got him cutting off hands, dropping acid basically on a group of villains, spikes coming out. It's like, we don't have enough to differentiate, so let's go ahead and have him break the law a little bit more.
Well, so I think that we've acknowledged, especially in the last episode, that this Batman is definitely more brutal than Earth 1 Batman, which, we can absolutely acknowledge that again, but this feels different for some reason.
I mean, I guess it kind of does. It's just, it feels like they didn't need to do it. I mean, I don't care if they did it or not. It's still a cool thing because, I mean, like I said, at this point, you might as well just break the law to enforce the law, because that's kind of the universe you're setting up here. So I have no problem with him doing this. As
we discussed last time, this universe rewards bad behavior and evil behavior and negative behavior. So presumably it's going to reward Batman for doing something a little more on the evil side than maybe his Earth 1 counterpart would do. And in fact, it does. Yeah. That's actually a really good transition to the next page, because Batman successfully enters the offices, searches the computer, and finds a folder labeled Arc M. Again, loving the nods to Batman's main continuity. Plus, this Arc M folder sets up a ton of future stories. It's really cool to see how well planned out this series was from the very beginning. And then it really goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. The universe has rewarded him for doing something slightly evil.
Yeah, definitely. The Arc M thing, that was interesting. Like that piqued my interest really highly, because how before I said like, oh, are we finally going to get our glimpse at Arkham for this universe? And then the Arc M files, like, okay, obviously this is not going to be the Arkham that we're familiar with. This isn't just going to be the gothic looking prison where all the insane villains are going to end up. There's something very nefarious and interesting behind that file. I'm already like, okay, what's going to happen here? Where is this leading?
I also want to point out one little detail that I really, really liked on the art on this page. When it shows us the Arc M folder, it looks like they are looking at a picture of a computer screen, because you can see the hash lines for the screen like you would see on a computer screen looking, when you're looking close up at it like that. Just that little bit of detail, like we're seeing this through Batman's eyes, or we're seeing this from a camera that's just off Batman's shoulder. They could have just shown us the screen without that little detail, but I love the fact that they put that little detail in.
That's something I never would have caught. I'm not that tech nerdy to like notice that.
Well, then Black Mask shows up on the screen, a big giant screen in the office, and says he likes Batman right before he shoots a rocket launcher into the window of the office where Batman is. Oh, and Black Mask also mentions Gotham City Police Department is here too. I just love how over the top and unreasonable it is to, I've got an enemy. I'm going to shoot a freaking rocket launcher into a building while the police are there because I don't like this guy.
It's like I said, I think I pointed out last episode, this is the best I have ever seen Black Mask. And I just realized now that I did not mention last episode that it was Black Mask was the villain. I just said I knew who it was. But yeah, it's like I've never liked the character in the main continuity in any interpretation. I've never cared for the character. This one, hands down, a cool version because he's psychotic. Like you could have made this the Joker and I would have walked away happy. The fact that you made it Black Mask, I'm like, all right, this is interesting. So like you're making a real cool psychopath here.
Yeah. So then Batman escapes and Pennyworth shows up as Batman hits the bottom of an elevator shaft. Pennyworth tells Batman the party animals are not what they seem. Ooh, scary. So then Pennyworth explains to Batman, and to Batman's credit, gives Pennyworth a chance. Pennyworth says before he can explain, they need to get out of here, though. Batman's all, you're standing in my car right now. Let's go.
Okay. A callback to earlier with the eye roll. That was literally me at this point. I did the eye roll because I automatically knew what was coming. And it's one of the things I hate the most about Batman. At times when they will do this, like they did it in the Snyderverse movies, and they did it in The Dark Knight Returns. They've done it a few times, and I absolutely hate when they do this. Go ahead and segue into it, man.
So I do want to point out the excellent sound effects and how we see Alfred kind of being pushed back at the velocity at which Batman is pushing his car forward. So then we see what appears to be a stolen construction vehicle breaking out of the building that Pennyworth and Batman were in. Now, here is where I have a little bit of a problem. So where did he get the money to put this together? Sure, he could have stolen the vehicle. I'll give him that. But did he also steal all the equipment necessary to weld this thing together? And then not to mention, like, there's a cannon on the side of it? How? Either Batman is a massive, massive thief, which I'm starting to realize is definitely a possibility, or someone forgot that Batman is supposed to be broke.
I'm going to go with he's a thief. I mean, on top of the fact of it's like he could be doing the Robin Hood thing of, okay, he's catching bad guys. You know what? I'm going to steal from these crooks too.
And it's occurred to me, given the discussion that we had earlier about how this universe rewards negative behavior, that him being a giant thief actually makes a whole lot of sense. The universe is rewarding him for stealing all of this stuff by letting him steal it, not get caught, and be able to build this ridiculous bat truck vehicle that has lug nuts that are the size of a policeman.
It's hilarious because you're hung up on the how did he afford this vehicle, and I'm hung up on the why does he need a vehicle this gigantic. This is the complete opposite of everything that I've been taught over the years of Batman is supposed to be. You don't roll around the city in a tank. Because how are you going to get around the city in a tank? And two, you're not. Yeah, I know, but it's like also it's like you're not very inconspicuous at this moment. Like everyone's going to know that's Batman roll. I mean, like just add some advertisements, start bumping some Tupac or something. It's like, just make a huge spectacle of yourself and like let everyone know, like, oh, Batman's coming.
I don't think this version of Batman's trying to be on the down low. I have not seen anything that indicates this version of Batman wants to be hidden at all.
No, and that's the one point where I'm kind of willing to bow down to this argument a little bit, because like, okay, this universe, it works. We've already got a Batman that himself is not very good at hiding his identity, because I mean, you're easily going to pick out who Batman is in a crowd. I mean, everyone's like, oh, who's Batman? I don't know, maybe the 400-foot guy with the muscles that are like popping out, well, more muscles and veins. I mean, that's obviously Batman over there. So the tank thing isn't that big of a deal. It irritates me when they do it in like every other adaptation.
Oh yeah, well, we're talking about this one, but I love how everything's over the top though. It's like we're back in 1992 in the comics. Like the 90s are back, and I'm here for it. Even in the art and the comic book and the ridiculousness of the story, it is so awesome to see this over the top.
No, we really are. I mean, to the point where it doesn't have to be, I don't want them to do a whole issue, but give me one splash page of Liefeld drawing absolute Batman, because I feel like the tiny head and the huge body would, like, Liefeld can easily nail that, and then give him the pouches that have nothing to do with anything, the guns that look like loaves of bread. I mean, just go all out and give us 90s Batman.
So next we get a flashback to the past again, shortly after Batman had thrown out the medal that he won to get that class trip. Selina shows up and tells Bruce that he is coming with her. And I love the art here on Selina. I love the cat ears on her hoodie. Perfect art for young Selina here. I mean, they nailed it.
They do, and I'm a sucker for young Selina. I always feel like there's this interesting story that could be told with her, of her becoming what she's going to become.
This story seemed like a lot of world building, necessary, but not maybe as much fun as the full-on action we got in the last issue. The art was spectacular throughout this issue. It is so good. The coloring difference between the current time and the past is still spot on. It is perfect. The art on this book is just as well thought out as the story is, but because this issue wasn't necessarily action-packed as issue 1, I will be lowering my score just a little bit. But at the same time, the Batman AF panel earns some of those points back, because that panel was just amazing. I remember seeing the previews of that specific panel online and going, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be awesome. So I'm giving this issue a 4 out of 5 illicit backroom poker games. What about you, Cookie?
I enjoyed everything. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a 4 as well, and it's mainly just because I'm not as in love with this universe as you are. I enjoy it. I think it's a cool little like pivot from the main universe, and it's kind of nice to see just something different. But I'm not always a huge fan of darkness. Of like dark titles, kind of, they can get a little taxing after a while for me. And I've experienced a lot of dark titles over the years, but this it still has enough fun to where I do enjoy reading it. I do look forward to it. I enjoy the artwork. The art style has been growing on me more and more. The coloring is really good. I liked the world building a lot, because it's making me interested in where this world is different from the main universe. I love the backstory of his friends and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool little things I'm kind of getting into. So I'm going to go 4 out of 5 for me.
I want to give a little pushback on the darkness of the universe, because this book is dark. Yes, this universe is dark. That's kind of the point of it. But we get that over the top. We get Batman breaking out of the bottom of a building with a truck that's bigger than my house. And those over the top moments take that darkness and kind of lighten it up a little bit. So I take issue with how dark you're presenting the universe.
It's dark compared to a lot of the stuff that I would typically read, and it's not just this universe. Like, a lot of stuff lately has gone darker. Marvel's gotten darker at times. Even main DC has its moments where it gets kind of darker. They always try to go back to the darkness of the 80s, of like the Alan Moore and Frank Miller ushered in this huge, everything's got to be brooding and dark, and it's like Image did a lot of it too. So it's become a staple in comics lately, and part of me kind of just misses like the fun, even though I didn't grow up with it, but like the fun of like that kind of I hate to say 60s Batman, but kind of like that kind of thing of like, I want a little bit more fun and camp at times to kind of lighten the mood. This is not that dark. You're right. It's not that bad, but it's a little bit different than what I'm used to. So it's kind of a period of adjustment. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We had a blast tonight. There's a lot of stuff you didn't even see. Hopefully it will show up in like some shorts, because it was a good night.
Oh, we're putting some of this on Patreon for sure.
Yeah, we have to. But obviously we are glad that you guys are here. Hopefully you can tell that we are doing this for the love of the comics medium, because yeah, we definitely love comics.
Even if we don't love each other very much right now. Speaking of the Patreon, please join us on our Patreon. We have so much cool stuff we share on there. We give you these little clips of behind the scenes stuff. Our little clips are definitely uncensored. We use words in those clips that YouTube probably wouldn't allow on their platform. We also have great comics conversations with our members. We have a lot of back and forth with them. We talk about books on there. We show off our hauls. You can also find us on Blue Sky. The link is down there in the description.
Yes, and speaking of descriptions, don't forget to check the description for our links to the Amazon affiliate page. There, you can pick up the book that we're reading, This Absolute Batman, Volume 1. Pick that up, click on that Amazon affiliate when you buy it, and a little bit of that money is going to come back to us. It's going to support us, give us money to feed ourselves and get new merchandise and all kinds of wonderful things. And it's not going to cost you anything extra.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like a great deal.
Then if you could please remember to like the video on your way out the door, give the channel a subscribe, and comment on this video as soon as you see it. Those things really do help support the channel and help it grow.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess the last thing to do is give a shout out to our editors. We got the Nacho King. And then what was the nickname we settled for Nick? Was it Nickname Nick?
Nickname Nick.
That's right. Okay, so we got Nacho King and Nickname Nick, and you know what? We got to give them a huge shout out, because without them, this would be a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is, but it would be even more of a mess than it is. And those guys do great work. Like, just for instance, today, I'm going to talk about something Nacho King did for me today. Near Mint Condition, some of you probably watch Near Mint Condition here on YouTube. They are having their 10th anniversary, and a lot of YouTube creators got together and made a really special video for them. That video will be out by the time this video premieres. But we got asked to be, to make a little video for Near Mint Condition, so I was able to throw it together really quickly this afternoon. Nacho King was able to edit that video, put some graphics on it, make it so we're advertising the channel a little bit as the video is playing, and I got to thank Omar and Melanie for their 10 years of Near Mint Condition. that shelf behind me is a direct result of their videos. So I thank them so much for all the content they put out. And I thank Nacho King for, in a very short period of time, putting that video together so we could get it off and get it done on time.
Definitely.
All right, so what's our closing for tonight, Cookie?
It's not going to be so much Batman related, but to kind of go with the mood of the night, our closing tonight is may you find in your life an editor that also makes you look as intelligent as ours does to Randy.
Oh, that is like the most beautiful thing that somebody could find in their life. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight.